Oh, we're live. Oh, sorry. Hi there. My name's Aaron Short. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is August the 9th. It's Monday. Isn't the time going quickly? August the 9th, 2021. And we have a very special guitar here today. If you watch the show, you may have seen Maury's famous OM28 V-style guitar. We all love it. We all want it. We've all offered him tens of dollars for it. He will not let that guitar go. But what he's done is he's made a recreation of Maury's music, and he has it to show it to us today. So please welcome, with no more anticipation, Maury Rutch. You didn't see the start of that, did you?
I thought if I have to pay attention, you should have to pay attention. I'm not liking the beginning of this yet.
I'll have to edit that out. It's so embarrassing. Oh dear. Oh.
You will. Were you sniffing?
You know,
I was sniffing.
I called Sniffers Anonymous, and they've got me on call for next week. So I'm working on it.
That'll happen.
David Belcher, good afternoon, Aaron and Maury. Hope you guys had a nice weekend. I had a gig this weekend. That was cool. I used that new JBL. Sounded great. Really happy with that. More videos coming on that. That's a cool product. I know you use the Bose, and I do like having that spread of the sound at the gig. Very cool.
I do love that idea. I haven't tried the JBL version yet, but just that whole concept of having the wide dispersion and the sound behind us, I really have completely bought into that 100%.
Yeah. I like that. How was your weekend?
It was good. We had a really relaxing Saturday, and then yesterday we had the nephews and the niece over. I got a lot of good pool time, and I got a good sunburn starting, so it was a pretty fun weekend all in all. Make
sure you wear that sunscreen, Maury.
I forgot. As you can see.
I hadn't noticed, but now I can tell. Now you told me, I can really see it. Hello, Aaron and Maury. Hi, Philip. How you doing, my buddy? Good to see you here. Jim says, greetings from Quakertown, PA. Close to the Martin factory. Very jealous. Jim says, what's up, everyone? Hey there from Vermont. Jack says, hi, guys. Small body content. Yum, yum, yum. I added some yums there. Bimo, good to see you again. Now, we need one of these. Philip Watson did it again. Bought a 2001 HD28 VS 12 fret slotted headstock. I'll have it by Wednesday. LOL.
Score.
I feel like on these streams I should be saying at the start of the show, if you can be easily enabled, please do not watch. Because I don't want to feel like Philip is buying the guitars because of the sandhole sniffer.
Too late for him.
I know. Enjoy it, Philip. Send us some pictures and videos.
That's an awesome guitar.
So let's just see what that is. 2001, so it's nicely aged. And I wanted to say this today. You notice the triple O. Is that triple O? Yeah, I forgot what I got. That's when you got a problem when you don't know what the guitar is. The Triple O 18, I want to do the video this week on the pickup. And I really feel strongly that, because I've had some guitars from you to review, and this one, like new guitars that I've kept around for even just a few months, they sound a lot better. So I really believe that there's a thing in that, and I think that his 2001 is going to sound excellent for that reason. So that's a 12 fret guitar, slotted headstock. Okay, very cool. Yeah, please send us some pictures and full specs on that, Phil, so we can discuss it on here. All right, Kooky says, hi everyone, that's OM28V week for me. I just found a new old stock one from 2012 in a shop in Germany, but the action was super high. So, Kooky, would you not consider just getting that and lowering the action? Like taking that saddle down and, I don't know. But he's looking at them as well. Very popular model. He said, nice playing, Maury. And Kooky is today's viewer of the week, showing off his new guitar. So we look forward to that.
Thank you.
Rosalind says, hi from steamy, humid Connecticut. Jim said there might be spiders in my guitar. It did smell good. Patsy and Bernard watching from England. Good to see you. Mark says, hi all, love small bodies too. Received my Sandhole Sniffer mug Friday and my shirt. Look at this, look.
See?
You can be just like me.
But what do you want to?
Oh, actually, I have to let you all know. I just got an email from Teespring, who make this stuff for me, and they are putting their prices up next month. I don't know if that'll affect me or the person buying, but if you are on the fence about getting a Sentinel Sniffer mug, sticker, or shirt, sticker, Maury, or shirt or mug to support my channel, might be a good time to do it now. They also said that the quality is going to go up as well for that reason. So that could be a good thing, but I can't comment on that. So, and these ones are great quality, so check them out. Oh, I also started I want to show you this. I started to Buy Me a Coffee as well. Have you seen this site, Maury?
I have not.
So you go to Buy Me, if you want to support the channel, if you like what you see today, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Aaron Short Music, and you can buy me a coffee.
Oh, that's cool.
You can actually change that to anything. I could change it to buy me a guitar, but I figure it would take way too long to get to that. It depends, of course, but I thought, yeah, buy me a coffee is nicer. So
you got to dream big. That's cool, though. That's cool.
So there's that. I'll leave that in the chat. Mark Johnson says, yep, love the small body. Yeah, again, thank you for buying that shirt. I really appreciate it. I'll give you one of these for that. That was really loud, but I don't care. I just turned it down. Skip is here from Boston. Bimo says, is it still the same? That guitar sounds incredible. I gotta say, when we were doing sound check, the guitar sounds really big. Really big. So we're going to discuss. I need to know more about the specs and this guitar, because it does sound huge. I gotta say that.
And our friends are still speaking in Bob Seger, if you're noticing that.
Oh, this is a thing. This is a thing from Maury's channel. He wanted all his comments in Bob Seger song titles. We're not doing that here. Just, it's going to confuse me. Just give me.
Stop.
Just, yeah, please. Well, if you do, then Maury will get it, and I won't. So you got a big fan here with Kooky, and Rosalind says, nice guitar, Philip. Yeah, I want to see pictures and videos of that, if you don't mind. And Jim's asked that very personal question of, what number guitar is that in your arsenal? I don't like being asked that question. Only because I've lost count.
That's a question for you, right? Not for me.
That question is for Philip Watson. But you don't have to answer, Philip, unless you want to. The Agent Out of Production 2016. I guess that's when they made him to. I'm not familiar with that model, so I want to see pictures and video of that. It is cheaper to just buy the t-shirt. Yes. I agree. Howard. Hi, Howard. Good to see you here. Thanks for the SC13 review, Maury. Got me one which may be gifted to my son tomorrow.
Ooh, you're very welcome.
So does that mean you like it or you don't? Because you're gifting it to your son. Or you have to buy another one for yourself. I don't know.
That's
actually we had some comments on that video this week. I was answering them. Actually, on a few guitars. I was answering some comments on that. That's a popular guitar. Very popular. Old says, hi, Aaron. Hi, Maury. Great day in upstate New York. Very cool. Oh, Kooky answered my question. He said, I've made measurements. There is not enough saddle room on the 28B I found. Okay. Always bear that in mind if you're buying a guitar. Look at how much saddle you got there to make those adjustments. Yep. If the saddle's super low, you can't make the adjustment. Okay, of course, Maury's checking all this out for you at his store, but if you're not fortunate enough to have Maury here, you have to look for yourself. That's a good tip.
Especially used, of course.
Used, yeah, that's the number one thing I would look for. Vintage specs are where it's at. I agree, Ricardo. Still got my eyes on those authentics one day. Jim says, I got my sights on a 1953 0018 for $5,500. How will I find the neck? A bit chunky? Should I pull the trigger? So, Jim, that's an interesting comment, because when I tried those vintage guitars in Nashville, the one that I fell in love with that was way more expensive than that, and way out of my price range, because it was Brazilian, I presume, back and sides, was a very small neck. Really small kind of neck, and I found it really comfortable. And I imagine, when I think of those old vintage guitars, I always think of the big V-necks. And that always puts me off a bit. But the thing about Martin is they've changed the necks so much. And that's why I really want to do this mini-series with Spoon, to go and try some vintage guitars and try to figure out, in my mind, what those necks are like. Because it's really difficult to know, especially if you're buying something like that from 1953. How are you going to know what that neck feels like if you can't go and play it in person?
Yeah.
So, do you have any thoughts on that, Maury? That's all I can really say about that.
I agree with what you're saying, and I'm almost wondering if the older you go back into the 50s and 60s, is it fair to say that different years had different profiles? Because maybe it's not, the older they went, it isn't fair to say that the older the guitar is, the beefier the neck was. If there's a 50s guitar with a slim neck, I wonder if it's actually year dependent or model dependent. Other guitars from 53, were other Martin guitars also that slim carve or not? I'm actually curious to watch that show.
Yeah, I mean, it's very involved. And like I said, I think most people, like I used to, are just going to assume that those old necks are big. But that's not necessarily the case. If Spoon was here, he could probably tell you what that neck is. Then again, how do you know exactly that neck? When they're carved like that, maybe they're all slightly different anyway. I would try to play it, honestly. I would either get very specific measurements or try to play it, because that's a really tough call. If I was buying a vintage guitar like that, I would want to play it first, 100% myself. So, thanks for your comment. So the answer is we don't know. I'm going to assume it's a bit chunky, but we don't know. So I'm not going to say pull the trigger. Get more information, get more details first. Jack says that OM doesn't look like it has a long saddle. We'll get to that, Jack. We'll get to the specs versus the original in a second.
Good eye.
Kooky, it's tough to buy a guitar for Aaron because the top might not be clean enough. This guy is obsessed with the whole thing about the clean tops. Absolutely obsessed with it. Let's see. This one has a bear claw right here. You can see it, right?
I think so. Yep.
It's there. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me. Having said that, I got to plug in my headphone again. Having said that, the custom thing is interesting because you can specify a premium grade top. While I put my headphone back in, Maury, can you just play us the guitar for a little bit? Because I can only hear in my left ear.
If I had an English accent, I would start talking to you guys. But I have to play. Oh, thank you.
I fixed it. Now I've got a cable behind my back of my head.
I won't tell anybody.
I just told them. The thing about the bear claw thing, I'll say it one more time for Kooky. Well, let me know in the chat what you think. What do you think about bear claw marks? for me, if you've got like a perfect top, I know no wood is perfect, but if you've got that really clean top and it's got one bear claw thing right on it there, it just breaks up that flow for me. So visually, yeah, I'd rather not have it. I've seen fully bear claw tops that I actually quite like when they're completely covered in it. I like that. But when it's just one, now the thing is, if there was two guitars and I preferred that guitar, which one would I choose? Well, I have to hope I would choose the one that sounded and felt the best. Because at the end of the day, it's a cosmetic thing. You're not going to see it while you're playing the guitar, right? But if I played two guitars that were the same and one had the bear claw, I would choose the one without the bear claw. I think people will agree with that. But let me know in the chat. I'm interested to know. Does it bother you? I don't know. That comes from a few years ago when it like really bothered me. Like I was looking for like perfection. But I realize now that there's no such thing. And there's other things that are important as well. Right? It's not just the look of the guitar. That's why it's good on here. We can actually hear the guitar. Like this guitar sounds great. And that is the most important thing. Definitely. The sound is everything. Philip Watson says, I've lost count. Mostly Martins from a D to a J. That's the answer, you see. I've lost count. Good job, Philip. Howard says, I love the SC13E, and yes, another Martin will follow, perhaps a triple O model. Very cool. I gotta say, the SC13E has been incredibly popular. I've not heard anyone speak badly of it. So, yeah. The OM28V was not used, but 2012. Oh, it's a new old stock. So it's like the Fender call it a closet classic. So I love that. I love an old guitar that hasn't really been played much, but is older, so it's aged naturally without the playing. That's kind of cool. I played an amazing 50s D18 once, but in Europe it's deadly expensive. The neck was fine. Okay, that's good information for our friend before that was asking about the smaller guitar. And Kookie's apologizing about my bear claw remark. I gotta say, if I was ordering a custom, I would personally always do the premium woods because they do not tend to have. There's less chance of them having the bear claw marks, if at all, and then I would know what to expect. Like this doesn't really matter because we're seeing the guitar, so we can make a decision. But if I order, that's one reason that customs scare me. I don't know what it's going to look like or anything when I get it. So it's great that Maury's ordering these customs because we can see them. He's kind of taken the risk in a way, hasn't he? He's made the order, and then we can check it out before we buy it. I think that's great. That's definitely the way forward, I think, especially for me because that's the whole thing. But if I was placing a custom order, and I think I'd like to at some point, I would just do the premium woods so I don't have any kind of wood grain marks that might kind of bother me. I've completely contradicted what I just said before, but that's fine. I thought you were going to smash the guitar before you put it down. Hey, if that had made this go viral, maybe I would have done it. Right, let's get into this. We've said hello to everybody. So, what is this? Well, first of all, let's go back more. We've talked about your guitar a lot, but let's give us the short version. When did you get that original guitar? Can you show us the original guitar, your guitar? And just tell us when you got that, why you got it, and what it is.
Well, I got it as a gift. This was a present from my wife on our first married Christmas in 1998. It's a 1998 OM28 VR, technically. Back then it was the vintage reissue was the name of it, the VR, and then a few years later they dropped the R. I keep calling it a 28V. Originally it came with the entire sound hole. It came with a long saddle style bridge where it was a long glued in saddle. And pretty quickly I had this replaced with a short belly style bridge, so the drop-in saddle. Way back in the late 90s, I was still brand new to the whole electronics, and I was trying all sorts of pickups, many of which were under saddle. So we had this changed. A friend of mine, Tim Teal at Martin, who's been on the program, he switched this whole thing out. I still have the actual bridge and the long saddle in a case pocket somewhere. I should have brought that on the program. It's pretty funny to just hold it. And everything else about the guitar is stock, except it's been refretted, I think, 3 times, and this last time it's been stainless steel frets. So we have the original tuners that really need to be changed soon. The original nut, the modified, and I changed the pickguard from the original pickguard. Back then we were selling, well, this is before we were selling them. Long after I got the guitar, but after we became a store, we were doing well with Grevin pickguards, and I changed the original pickguard for a Grevin. So that's one thing we didn't address in this recreation. But other than that, and the fact that it's had 11 or 12 pickup systems in it since then, what's been in it most recently now for at least 4 or 5 years is the Trance Audio Amulet going right to the end jack. So this guitar is mostly stock with those changes.
Okay, so the guitar you ordered, you spec like this, but just to repeat again, the pickguard is different because that's not a Martin pickguard, right?
Right.
And your guitar had a long saddle, but you took that out. It's kind of cool that Tim Teal, because Tim Teal's the, you know, he's high up at Martin. He's making the guitars, designing the guitars, and he did that on your saddle. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Back then, I assume he wasn't in the position he is now, or he just likes you a lot to do that for you.
Well, he's always liked me. he was head of the R&D department back then. So by the time I got to meet him, he was already, you know, really high up there. But super nice guy, as you know. But yeah, he's definitely, you know, one of the brainiest guys there, and then it's full of smart people. So what's that saying?
I was wondering where that was going. That was good. So you had the long saddle. This is really interesting because I do all these pickups on here. You took the long saddle out because and a lot of people like the long saddle because it is vintage, and they say it gives you more tone because there's more transfer to the top because the saddle's longer, which makes sense. But you took that out purely to stick an undersaddle pickup in there, and you've tried as many pickups as I have, and you ended up with the Trance, which is not under the saddle at all. So if you could turn back the clock, would you have, if you'd known what was going to happen and you had the Trance back then, I assume you would have preferred the long saddle, right? You wouldn't have removed it.
Well, probably, and this could get us into the weeds. I don't want to take this whole program and go into where all of our programs always go. No, it's a two-sided thing. Knowing what I know now, I would probably opt for the long saddle, but I would also know that I don't know everything, and I want to leave my options open because I'm going to be honest. There were probably 8 different undersaddle pickups in here before I ended up with K&Ks and Trance. So I should know enough in 2021. This might not be the last system that's in here. Who knows? And I really do. It's worth mentioning. I like having a short saddle, drop-in style for action adjustments as well. If you want to have a summer saddle and a winter saddle, anything you want to do on a long saddle is just more invasive. You can do it, but it's not as easy. So this is a working man's idea where you can interchange saddles very quickly, and it's not the traditionalist. But to be really fair to your question, if I knew I would never change again, I probably would stay long saddle, but it wouldn't be glue, it would be drop in.
Right, so let's just make that clear. You can get long saddles that are glued in or not glued in, and the shorter saddle. You're right, the glued in saddle probably gives you the most transfer of sound, but if you want to just pull that out and sand it down for action reasons, that's very difficult because you've got to melt the glue and get it out and re-glue it again. So the drop-in, I never heard of drop-in long saddles until you told me about it a few weeks ago. That's a cool idea. But the regular saddle, I mean, the regular saddles, like you said, it's easier, and if you want to buy like a different material or try different materials, so that makes sense. And your copy of the guitar does not come with the Trance like your guitar has, but you can install the Trance for someone and basically give them the same plugged-in sound as you as well, right? If they really want to be like Maury Rutsch, they can do that. You have the power.
You do. And really, that's what I would lead somebody down that road. If they wanted to put a pickup in that, it can be done. Just, you know, that's how I would do it anyway. Why do it now? I might as well do it later, just in case somebody wants to keep it completely acoustic. And for that same reason, on a much smaller scale, there's no strap button yet, because some people don't want one, or you might want a decorative one made of bone or ivory, and you might not want the chrome. So I would envision if somebody wants to do something with the recreation, that when it's all said and done, there's going to be a strap button and a pickup, but we might as well let the end user decide exactly which kind, and maybe they'll want to decide that after the purchase too. So
I think that's cool. I do suggest, though, if you buy this guitar and you like the Trance, I think Maury is the one to install it. I will say that, so consider that.
Thank you.
Simply because no one else installs it in the USA. Just kidding. Just kidding. Quick, just kidding. Okay. No, seriously, have Maury install it. He's good at it. So, any other differences? I think your guitar has stainless steel frets. This one doesn't, right?
That's correct. Yeah, that's an aftermarket. Martin didn't offer stainless steel on this build, and I wasn't sure that was a necessary thing to go down that road yet. But the other differences are it's the strap button, it's the stainless steel, it's the pickup is missing, and the pick guard. Yeah.
And don't forget the 10 years of passion, blood, sweat, and tears, which is evident on your guitar. This is like a baby, right? This is a.
This isn't aged. It's not a relic or aged. You got to do all the crap to it yourself. I'm not going to say it's done.
Now I've got a question. When you got your guitar originally, was it that color? Because your guitar is a different color to this one.
It was. It was actually a little bit more blonde than this. Yeah.
So that's a
the
thing.
Standard series before they did the reimagining, before they give it the aging toner.
So this is age toner behind me, right?
Yeah, it was lighter than that.
Right. So what is that? That's not age toner on your guitar?
Well, on my, when you say mine, do you mean the
recreation? The recreation.
Well, this is, yes, but
okay. On my screen it looks so kind of. It looks really different even to this one, doesn't it? It looks very pale.
Don't forget, it's VTS Sitka too, so that's the other difference. This is emulating the aging process to a non-VTS original, so that's another difference for sure. Designed difference.
So your guitar didn't have VTS, but you've given this VTS in order to try to recreate that sound.
Exactly.
Right?
My guitar predates VTS by 2 decades, probably.
So to be fair, and this isn't good or bad, but the guitar you've got in your hands now is not a carbon copy of your guitar. It's more inspired by. Yeah, I like that. It sounds like that sounds like a Martin phrase. Inspired by the Maury Rich guitar. That's cool. All right. So I have a question though. If you order a custom from Martin, say I ordered that guitar from you tomorrow, could I have stainless steel frets in it? Do they do that?
After the factory, you mean ordering a new one for yourself?
If I called up tomorrow and placed a custom order for that guitar, same specs, but I changed the frets to stainless steel, do Martin offer stainless steel frets on a custom build?
I think so, but I really want to check with Andrew. I'm 99% sure.
I think I've asked you that before, but I always wonder about that. That'd be good information to have. So let us know next week. By the way, next week is Spoon Phillips Q&A. Write it in your calendars and join us then. All right, let's jump back over to the chat. So we've kind of sussed out the details. When we've done some chats, we'll come back and look at it up close, and then we'll hear it some more. At the end, I want to do something fun. I would like to compare this to yours without seeing them.
Oh, okay.
That could be dangerous and exciting, and I like dangerous and exciting. So we're going to do that. Waverly makes a high ratio open gear tuner now. Who makes the tuners in this guitar you've got there? Is that Grover?
They should be the Stay-Tights. Oh no, this is the Martin. These are Martin Butterbeans.
They are. So do me a favor, take one out and see if it fits in that Engelmann guitar. Just kidding. Olds, Maury, what are the next specs and dimensions on yours? Okay, I tell you what, Olds, we'll go over to the Maury's site in a second and check out the full specs, because we're getting questions for all the specs here. The Custom Shop Maury OM28VR reissue, that's a long name, needs to have a long saddle bridge in the case.
Yeah.
It's like the Noel Gallagher. They give you the Adidas sticker to put on if you want to. You should ship that with all the other stuff in the case, and age it all. Make sure you age everything. Yeah. Take it next time you go on a Sunday. Take it with you and put it out in the sun so it goes orange like yours.
Oh please. Get my chisel.
Steve Smith says hi. Hi Steve, good to see you as always. Jim says winter saddle, summer saddle. Please educate me on why. I'll let Maury take this one.
I'm sorry to skip through that too quickly. It's an idea that I heard first from Tim Teal, where if you guys might, in the chat, many of you guys might already appreciate the fact that in the summertime the guitar is going to swell from being humid, and you know we're all keeping our guitars regulated as much as we can, but to a fault. It's going to move a little bit. The guitar is going to raise in the summer a little bit, and it's going to sink in the cold weather. And what a lot of people, at least in this side of the country, would have to do is you make an action adjustment, and we all know that you do that at the saddle. So some people, like right now, this is going to be my summer saddle. In the winter, if this guitar's top would drop a little bit, I'd have another saddle to just, really just offset that difference. Even if it's a 32nd of an inch, you don't have to keep going through saddles and making adjustments. You have one that's tall and one that's short, by just that much. And after you get to know your guitar and you recognize, it might take 1 or 2 years to go through those seasons and recognize what you need. But if I went to my case pocket right now, I would see the other saddle, and I would know that's for when the winter time comes around. So it just gives you when my guitar is dry and when my guitar is wet.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I've never done that, but it definitely makes sense, and it's a good idea if you have those variations. Kooky says, Maury, 800 undersaddle transducers. Maury, you need to list your pickup in Fancy Bow's thread on the AGF. Someone's made a thread like what pickups if you try. I didn't even bother because they're all on my channel, and there's so many of them that I just didn't even list them all. I think Maury's in the same boat.
Yeah, but I saw that thread and I started it, and then I had so many edits I just got busy and I should go back.
Long saddles were glued in pre-2003, and since 2003, Vintage Series had a drop-in long saddle. That's a video there. Long saddle versus short saddle.
Yeah.
Definitely. He says to Jim, you'll be happier not knowing. Lee's here. Hi guys, a bit late. I have to watch later. No problem, Lee. Good to see you. The boss is around, so I have to behave myself. Do you mean you're at work or at home? Please clarify.
Ooh.
And a compliment from Kooky. Everyone, I installed a trans audio amulet 24 times. That's a lot of times. And never came close to Maury's install.
Oh.
And that's what I was saying. I based it on the fact that I've got the trance here that I tried that Maury installed. Sounds great. Maury's guitar sounds great. So I figure he must be really good at doing it. And I've heard from some people saying it's not so easy to do. I don't know, Kooky. I don't know. But I do know that if you're considering that system and you're buying that guitar from Maury, I would do that. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. I just did another one over the weekend, D35 Ambertone. And I put the first lens on and it sounded okay. The second lens, the balance between the E and the B and the G wasn't exactly right, so it takes another 12 hours of clamping pressure, but it's worth the extra time. And I'm not sure, I mean, it's for another time to talk about, but I'm not sure people who have a disappointing result with trance, if they're taking all the time to make sure it's clamped that long, or you have to clamp it one at a time, because if you clamp two of them, is the first one getting as much pressure as it can, or is the clamp over here too high? It's just a slow process that you need a lot more patience than talent, really.
I think you just have the magic touch, or the secret glue that you use that no one knows about.
Well, I've done a lot of them. I know it's not an accident, put it that way.
So we'll never know. But that's why I said if you're considering that system and you're buying from Maury, then that's the way to go. Another question. I got all these questions coming to mind. You had a K&K in your guitar before the trance?
I did.
But I heard there's this myth on Acoustic Guitar Forum that, actually, I think the companies say this, that you can't, if you have a K&K glued in the guitar, then the trance cannot be installed.
Well, they recommend against it, and that is the actual company's stance. But in my opinion, I did not want to take no for an answer, and I didn't want to do a different guitar. So I actually took the K&K out with the razor blade, and I sanded the bridge plate. What they're saying is, even if you do that, some of the super glue just goes into the wood. It's not on top of the bridge plate. It goes in the bridge plate. So in fact, what you're hearing when you listen to my guitar probably has some super glue residue inside the porous part of the bridge plate, and I just couldn't get around it, but it didn't stop me. I have to believe that if I started with a completely fresh bridge plate, the results would be not only better, but they'd be what Trance recommends. So I did go against the grain there, but it was either that or I can't put a Trance in my guitar, and I couldn't stand the thought of that. So I did go against their wishes, but it worked. I'm
waiting for someone here to ring you up tomorrow and say, I want to purchase that Maury 28V, but I want you to install the 100 pickups that you in and out, and I want you to install the Trance with the residue left over from the glue in the same place. I want you to take it outside, leave it in the sun, and I want you to knock away that bit of the sound hole, and then I'll take it. Did I ever tell you that? I won't go on a long story, but the rattle I had at one of the unofficial Martin Guitar Martin Fest, this might be 10 years ago, we're playing in the hallway of the hotel at 3 in the morning, and no matter what I do, I can't get rid of this buzz. And if you
rap on the side of the guitar. You could hear it a little bit. Certain frequencies would make it happen, certain wouldn't. And I had 2 or 3 people really take a close look at the guitar, and we could not figure out what was making this rattle until it was either Tim Teal again or Brothers Music in Wind Gap. I installed an LR Baggs undersaddle pickup at one time. It might have been before the Element, and they wanted you to drill a hole into the saddle slot at an angle instead of straight down, or maybe it was a D-tar or something. And I did the install, and I put the pickup in there. When I took the drill bit out of the guitar, not knowing, a little bit of the drill bit broke off and was inside my bridge at an angle, hidden by some sawdust, and I never saw it. And it was in there for 2 or 3 years, making this rattle that would not go away. And so I have to put that in there too.
Funny you say that, because this one had that as well. Like little tiny bits of sawdust. You really want to take the strings off and get all that out, everything. Because if you're recording or something, or even just playing, like that always happens. Whenever I get a pickup installed by someone, there's always a few bits left, and you've got to go in there and get them out. And it's worth noting. And also tape the cables down as well, because the amount of times I have that, if you shake it, you get that on the side of the guitar. I didn't notice that with the Trance, because I think that the way the cables are routed maybe, but yeah, that can always be a problem with anything in the guitar. Alright, so what Kooky did was, if you watch the show regularly, you'll know this. Kooky has tried the Trance and many other pickups, and he talks about them a lot on his channel and on the Acoustic Guitar Forum. He decided to make his own pickup. I think he's already shown us on a video in the past on here, but now he has a new version. He's basically taken that idea of the Baggs. It's my favorite Baggs pickup, Anthem.
The Anthem.
And I've always asked this to companies: why don't you do crossovers? So he's made a system where his internal mic can cross over with his pickup, and he's also, we have shown that video before, but today the main reason we're showing this video is he bought a new guitar and he sent us a video. So we're going to go and watch that, and when we come back, we'll just discuss that briefly. Then we'll jump over to look at the specs. Then we'll do some playing, and then we'll do the comparisons. But remember, these are very different guitars. But this guitar sounds really big and really cool, so I do want to compare them just for fun. So let's go and check out Kooky. We'll be right back. Can you just mute your microphone, Maury? I'm going to play the video.
Sure.
Hello guys, so this is my new Martin 0018V from 2003, so it's kind of a little sister of Maury's OM28V. It has a mod V shaped neck, which is great compared to the Emilo, according to my own test. I don't really like the modified low oval profile neck, and it's a mahogany guitar, 0018V. It has a Martin Thin Light Gold Plus pickup, so I didn't touch that, and I just wired an internal mic here and added my own Blender crossover Baggs Anthem like preamp. So I kind of tweak it for this guitar. Tweaked it. So okay, let's hear it. So you have here it's a SM57. So now let's hear the pickup. So in this position it's full Martin Finline Gold Plus, so it's kind of like a Let's turn the preamp to full mic, so all the low end is taken by the undersaddle and everything above 250 Hz by the internal mic. Let's go halfway now. Now next, I'm gonna replay the full piezo sample, and I will add an ER on it.
Awesome. So that's what we call dedication. You get a new guitar and you make your own pickup for it, and then you make a video explaining it. Now that's fantastic. And yeah, once again, the Gold Plus, it sounds pretty good, and it has that cutting tone. And then he got the mic in there, and you can blend it in. Really cool. And then it's got the option of IR as well, so you can have either or. I think there's some. If Fishman or Bags are watching, I hope you've got patent on this stuff, because it's a great idea. And Fishman did bring out the Matrix Blend, which is a mic in the guitar, and you can actually use a stereo jack and send them out separately as well. But they didn't build in the internal crossover. I never knew why more companies didn't do it. I believe that's why I think the Anthem and the Cole Clarks are good, because they're all using these crossovers. Incidentally, what I did yesterday on my stream, I was very happy with my sound yesterday on my stream, and it's the Aura. And what I did was, it allows you to EQ the pickup and the mic separately. So I took more of the low end out of the mic and more of the high end out of the undersaddle to try to do that a little bit with EQ. And I think it worked pretty well. I was very happy with yesterday's sound. I will say this, I listened to the replay on my phone speaker, and I thought it sounded bright and horrible. But with headphones in, I think it sounds great. Headphones are so important when you're auditioning a guitar or a piece of gear. Always wear good headphones. Sometimes I'll just throw the phone on the side while I'm making a cup of tea or something, and I'll play a video, and sometimes it sounds fine, but you don't really get that full experience without the headphones. I think iPhones are dangerous for that stuff. So definitely get some good headphones for all this audio stuff. Kind of obvious, but I thought I'd just say it anyway, because that really reinforced it to me. Okay, let's look at this guitar then. Let's go to...
By the way, Kooky, I love those songs you chose.
They were the long-forgotten Maury's Music riffs,
Bravo.
which he hasn't played for a long time. I want to jump over to the screen again, so we'll go over here.
And for what it's worth, Aaron, I started watching your replay on a Bose. Like it's a pretty old system, but it's a home theater system. I thought it sounded really good.
I still think, and I told Larry this when I saw him, I still think the F1 Plus was the best system they ever made, and I think they should bring it back. But that's just my opinion. It doesn't have the body sound, but it does have a really, really good sound. And of all the IR stuff so far, I think Fishman do it. For me, I don't want to say the best, but I think they know their stuff. And I can't wait for Aura HD, and I will be covering it when it eventually comes out. I will be covering that. Oh yeah, but Anderton's did a great video this morning comparing VoicePrint DI to Tone Dexter, and it really gives. But they used a Cole Clark, which sounds kind of great plugged in anyway, which I thought was they should have used just a basic undersaddle. But it's an interesting video. Go watch that later on, and it kind of sums up my thoughts as well. So check that out later. Right, so we go on Maury's Music. There's a handsome gentleman, and there's that Woodstock guitar, which we all love. So I guess I'm going to go to Martin. I'm acting like I never come on this website. Go to Martin, and what am I looking for here? Custom shop. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad you're getting these customs in lately, Maury. I think this is a really cool thing. I think this is exciting. So, you've got a lot of them now, too. I'll go to the next page. I'm trying to find it. Help me out here.
Well,
It's got to be this one, right?
A really long name, but it's going to be VTS V-neck.
V-neck, yeah. Okay. So, the specs are here. Let's just read through these together. You can tell me if I miss anything. So, dovetail neck joint, of course, because it's a 28 style. 0014 fret, of course. Sitka spruce, it's got the VTS. Now, when you order VTS from Custom Shop, is there... Because I know there's different levels of VTS or years of VTS. So is it just one kind of generic VTS, or do you get to choose specific things about the VTS?
You get to choose between two. I think like basically light roast and dark roast. But over the years it used to be different, and right now you can choose. I think you might call it M1 and M2, but you can choose.
So is this light roast or dark roast?
I think this is M1, to my specs it would be light because my guitar is not 140 years old.
Right. Yet. Rosette is 28 Bolteron. X-brace scallop, Sitka spruce bracing. Brace size is 1/4 inch. So this is standard kind of 28 stuff, right?
Yep.
And apart from the VTS, of course. Antique white binding, bold herringbone, modified V. So Kooky was just saying he's a fan of that now. This really baffles me because with the standard series they've moved away from the V-necks. And how do Martin decide to do this? Because it seems to me from doing this show that a lot of us like V-necks and a lot of us don't. I feel like dare I say maybe there's less V-neck fans. I'm just making a guess.
Well, I'll answer that for you. That'll make you feel really confident in that they're not wrong. It wasn't a very hard decision for them because they got some. If you picture how many people approached the Martin company to build a custom, by far, and they were like not even nervous about saying this. By far, the overwhelming majority of people who can get any neck they want, they want the new modified low oval with the high performance taper, and they said, well, there's no contest. So they recognized if everybody who can get whatever neck they want, almost everybody asks for that, that's what we're going to put on the standard series. And
that obviously makes sense. They obviously researched that, and that's obviously the case. But we do have a lot of people here that do like that modified V. So
yeah, it's still not everybody,
yeah. Neck taper, standard taper, plecked, yes, of course. I do like the plecking. Bone nut, okay. The logo is the old style gold. And the scale length 25.4. So all OM28 specs, right? 14 fret neck
Yep.
join, 20 frets. So the nut is 1 3/4 inch. Is that what your guitar is?
Yes.
Okay. Because yours is kind of vintage, so I thought it might be the narrow nut, but it's not. Gloss, gloss, gloss. I'm looking for, yeah, saddle is compensated bone. Got the bone saddle. I like that. Saddle radius 16 inches. Nickel open gear tuners. I like those. Martin strings. They're 12s, right? On there. Yep. Butterbean knobs. White plastic pins. Does your guitar have plastic pins, or it doesn't, right?
My guitar changes pins pretty often, so again,
Okay.
this was left alone so customers can opt for what they want. But depending on the mood I'm in, it's had a lot of different stuff in it.
Okay. So that is the specs there. Then I'll take us over to look at the pictures, which are my favorite thing. Look at that. So is this upgraded wood, or is this standard 28 series wood?
This is standard.
Yeah, it looks great. I do have a sneaky suspicion, like I said last week, that the custom shop might get kind of the pick of the litter, if you'd like to say it like that. But who knows, right? Who knows? I would personally still do the upgraded wood because of what Kooky said earlier. But this looks great. This is a nice piece of wood. That grain is really tight on there on the top, and the back looks nice too. And then this is the original guitar. And then this is compared. There's more here too. There's signatures in there. There's quarters in there. There's all kind of things in that guitar.
There's probably a pick in there.
I love the wear. See, if you're watching and you're looking at doing these recreations, that is an authentic worn guitar. That is what happens. Maybe not the sound hole breaking. That just makes you feel very uncomfortable. But the
Yeah,
wear there
me
is
too.
real wear. How did that happen again? How do you break a sound hole like that?
Well, by my picking, the pick guard doesn't help me much at all because I didn't land there very often in my strumming. I wore that so thinly and so fragile that when I finally had to put a pickup feedback buster in there at a gig where we weren't doing sound for ourselves and it was a real nightmare for low end feedback. I must have had one that didn't fit quite well, so it went in too snug. And then when I was taking it out, don't ask me why I couldn't take my time doing it, but instead of loosening a couple of strings and trying to really massage that out the right way, I pulled the rubber feedback stopper out a little bit too quickly, and with it came some of that wood, and I was just like, that's about right for me. And now it looks like this. And for about 2 or 3
Damn.
weeks, it wasn't ripped out. It was just hanging on like a loose tooth, like a kid's loose tooth. And I just got the nerve one day to just rip it.
That's actually really good information because I've been using a sound hole plug in my Cole Clark, and I think those things are a lifesaver at gigs. I used to be kind of against them. I thought they looked weird. I kept thinking I'd hit them with my pick. Some people have them for that reason. The pick hits that and doesn't wear the wood. But I never liked them. But I was having some feedback issues the other week or something, and I threw it in. And I had to kind of push it in quite hard, but I got it in there and it just fixed all of my issues. Now I'm a huge fan of those things now. I love them. But the sound hole was slightly smaller on the Cole Clark, and I have been just like yanking it out. So now you've told me that, I'm going to be more careful. Yeah, I didn't even think
Well,
that
if you
could
would have
happen.
told me it saves you from wearing the wood away, I would have maybe stopped that too.
Why, because you want to wear the wood away?
No, I mean, if I would have known putting a stopper in there stops you from wearing on the wood, I could have saved myself most of that aggravation.
Well, that's definitely true. The guitar I've had the longest in my life was my first Taylor as a kid, and that was wearing just above the pick guard, right there, just above the pick guard. So if I'd had a feedback plug in there the whole time, that would have worn down instead of that. I mean, that's not the reason. That those things are incredible. If you've got like especially a microphone or something in your guitar, and you put that in there. I even use it at home now because I can sit right in front of the studio monitors and just turn up as loud as I want, and there's no feedback. I actually want to make a video on that. It sounds very obvious, but I want to make a video just explaining, like I just said, like I was kind of against them, but the benefits of them are just amazing. It's also good for playing late at night because it kind of muffles the sound a bit if you've got neighbors.
Yeah.
So I've got 2 more slides here. This is interesting. This is them back to back. I mean, let's face it, the one you ordered just looks like a baby, doesn't it? It just looks like the baby, and then that's the granddaddy on the left there, right? Look at it. It's just
Sure
like,
does.
it's just, you're going to need 10 years on that guitar. If you buy this
So
guitar,
innocent.
you're going to have to think, right, I'm going to make it through play look like Maury's does on the left. And I'll come back and watch this video in 10 years and see if I achieved it or not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just looking at it, yeah. So there's a lot of work to be done. Or Maury can get the knife out and his pen and
I sure can. Or I could go back to Martin and say, do it again, but do a relic, and I could get Jeff Allen in the custom shop when he's not aging a D28 Authentic or something like that. He could age mine.
I'm sure they could. I'm sure they could do a 1-to-1, but
But why?
question for the chat, who would want that? Honestly, like with your money, like would you actually buy it? There's the back. So the grain is a bit different. I like the grain on the new one. It's kind of straighter. But hey, the back of yours is much cleaner than the front, isn't it?
Sure is.
I did notice, as you learned last week, I do have a sharp eye, Maury. The stripe down the middle is different on the new one. Was that just random or what?
Yeah, just being a little bit different. We didn't want to take too much effort to really make any kind of a clone. We really, this guitar that I'm playing today is more closely related to a regular OM28 than anything else, and that's a testament to how much the new OM28 is basically a 28V without that neck.
Yeah. So, like I said earlier, not an exact copy, clearly. We were all hoping you were going to pull out a guitar that looked exactly like yours. But that would probably be 20 grand if they were going to do that level of aging to it. So, okay.
And really, look who you're talking about. That doesn't warrant any of that. This is just my guitar. It's nothing, we're not talking about anything from Steven Stills or somebody.
I don't know. You got some fans here. So I don't know.
They're smart enough to know that nobody wants anything exactly like what I have. It's just, and really this conversation probably started on this show or on the times Aaron and I talk about this stuff before we go on. If I was going to make a recreation, I thought, well, might as well. We need store stock, and we always add a couple of, in-store ideas to our custom shop orders. Why not see what it would sound like and look like?
So this is an OM28. I know you're not supposed to say this, so I'll say it. Basically, OM28, but VTS and V-neck, right?
More or less, yeah.
Yeah. So what? See, they're all talking about it now. Jack says, why isn't your signature on the 20th fret? I mean, it can be. He can get the silver pen out. It can be done.
Because nobody wants that. That's why it's not there.
If he buys that guitar,
and it's not a signature model. It's inspired by.
Right.
Kidding aside, it's not even meant to be that guitar that closely at all.
Right.
It really isn't.
Right. The real test will be when we compare them at the end. If we all prefer the new one.
I hope my guitar doesn't suck compared to this one, because then I'm going to feel pretty stupid for having been so attached to it.
It's going to ruin all these weeks and months of like talking about natural aging and all these things, and if you prefer the new one, it's going to be like, okay, well, we'll see. It's all in the name of research. Kevin says if he buys that guitar, I'll help cover the cost of the extra bridge. Don, hi Aaron and Maury, best name in the world, D. Martin.
He has an OM28.
Ah. Old says should come with a harmonica as well. Rosanna, hi Aaron and Maury, everyone in the chat, good to see you. Don't play it, I'll get a copyright strike.
Just
Old, and also a 50 Colorado capo.
Yeah, now you guys are putting the puzzle together. Yeah.
Lee is at work. Steve Smith says the guitar looks amazing and sounds fantastic. Yep, I agree. It's a very great sounding guitar, I gotta say. And I'm not usually one for VTS, but this sounds so big, and yeah. That's why I like these videos, because it makes me challenge my thoughts sometimes. Kevin Wilkinson, do you have a K&K and Trance AB? I don't know if Maury does. I'm going to do one soon. Have you got one of those?
I might have one that I recorded in a local studio 6-7 years ago that's not as up to date as I want it to be, but I'll look it up. Yeah.
I'm going to do K&K versus Trance versus Dazzo, because they're the three main kind of soundboard transducers, right? So I'm going to make that video pretty soon.
Yeah, you need more videos too.
I do. That's why I got this out. I'm going to make this pickup review tomorrow, and then I'm going to do the one where I compare them all. And yeah, watch out. Lots of stuff coming. I was busy last week doing that JBL speaker. I knew that would be a popular item, so I was focused on that. You need the magic touch for that install. The trance, I took 48 hours per install. Okay, so Kooky did take his time.
Oh.
And he says, check out Doug Young. He's got comparisons of pickups. Yes, he does. But also check out Aaron Short Music next week. Anthony Phillips. Hi, guys.
Tongue guy.
Look, Maury, if I don't push myself, no one else is going to. Okay?
Clearly, people are pushing the competition on your channel now.
I know. Well, that's kooky. For the next Maury's reissue, you need to have the drill bit piece and the guitar. See, everyone's obsessed with recreating your guitar. Obsessed. Hi, Mario. Says hi, Aaron and friends. Kooky, nice. Lots of clarity. Yeah, the pickup sounds great. At least what I can hear. I could hear some kind of low-end kind of feedback from the IR or the mic, and that's always my concern with those things. But he told me something else. We haven't got time to go into it today, but he's making a preamp where you could have IR or mic. Another great idea. Because sometimes I want the impulse response for like a live stream, and sometimes I want the mic for live on stage banging on the guitar. So that would give you the option of either. So, like I said, Fishman and Bag should be watching this show every week. Anthony Phillips, I like the 50% second the best. Nice clarity and live presence. Yeah, I think 50% is cool. I kind of want to try that Fishman blend again, because I tried it and just got loads of feedback. And the problem I had with that was the mic is stuck in the sound hole, so you can't easily put a feedback buster in. You'd have to move it back. You'd have to move it back. But I do think that's the best. A good undersaddle and mic blend is something that I really like. But you've got to watch for that feedback. But like I said, the sound hole plug is a great idea. I'm designing a pedal. Here we go. Can do it all. Analog preamp, crossover blender, and IR in a single pedal. So you saw it here first. You saw it here first.
Awesome.
BMO, Aura F1 Plus is amazingly good sound. Yeah, I love it. Go back, when we're done, go back and watch my show yesterday. I did a concert, and I used the GPC Aura, and I did dial it in better, I feel. I did a lot of dialing in with it. Well, not a lot, but a little bit more than before. And I really like that sound. With good headphones on, I think it sounds really convincing. That was a great system, way ahead of its time, and proof that gear doesn't always go the way I want it to. Sometimes it goes a bit like this. It's Maury's special today. The tune had to be Maury's. Well, you didn't know that. Okay, I'll give it to you. Saw Anderton's video. Didn't realize you could set up voice print with iPhone instead of mic. Yeah, that's the whole point, Olds. It's like they've made it to work with the mic in your phone. But Andertons are pretty hard on them because they said there's no Android app. You've got to have an iPhone. I guess that's a fair point. So that cuts out 50% of users straight away. But the Android app is coming. They told me it is coming soon. They're making that next, so it is coming. Yeah, it's cool. Try it out. Alex says, I played an OM28V I really like the feel of, and an old Montgomery Ward guitar from the 30s with a very hard V-neck that actually feels nice. Yeah, I never want to say I don't like one kind of neck. They can all feel different, and some necks are kind of even carved differently and feel different, don't they? So, and sometimes it's not just the neck, it's the spacing and the nut, everything kind of in one. Yeah. So bear that in mind. Marco, hello Aaron and Maury. Been a while, Marco. Good to see you.
Yo.
Alex says, I don't mind the MLO neck. I think I actually prefer it over low profile neck of my HD28 from 2002. For some reason though, the HD28 feels wider, even though my MLO neck is 1 3/4 inch nut. There you go. The specs kind of add up to a whole, don't they? At least it doesn't look like Willie Nelson's guitar.
Well.
It's getting there. It's getting there. BMO, sound hole plugs can be trimmed to fit and cut out to allow some sound out for miking. Yeah, you can sand the edges because it's rubber and then it fits in easier. I need to do that on mine. It's annoying when they don't just fit perfectly, but sound holes do vary in size a lot. Some companies make their own. Maton make their own sound hole plug because they have a very specific size. But you can just take any of them and sand them down. I was at a bar once and I was getting really bad feedback, so I grabbed the beer coaster and just taped it over the sound hole.
Oh.
And it really helped. Yeah. You've always got to think about that. The acoustic guitar is a big wooden box, especially like a dreadnought. And if you've got sound bouncing around the room, it's just going to go straight in there and just feed back like crazy. So plugging that sound hole is just a great way to deal with that. Kuki says, when Maury performed a downstroke in 1998, one time over 3, he would miss the strings and hit the sound hole. Yeah. Some players never hit the sound hole with it. Some players play and they just hit the strings. I obviously clip that sound hole every time, and then when you start recording, you can hear that because you get that kick hitting the thing, and then you get kind of better at it because you hear it.
Yep.
Don Martin likes the pickguard. What was that pickguard again on your guitar?
Grevin with a G. That was a company that made custom pickguards for Martins.
Oh, they don't do it anymore?
No. Well, if they do, their supply really went belly up for a while. We weren't able to consistently get that product. Maybe it was the Q. I forget exactly why, but we had a hard time getting them to be in stock at, looking... Really, there was actually some fit issues where we get 5 or 6 pickguards of the same exact thing, and 2 of them, the actual curvature of it wouldn't line up correctly, and it was a very homegrown solution. It wasn't like a big manufacturer where you could buy a million things and they would all be cookie cutter. It was you'd have to buy 5 to get 2 good ones, and we just weren't able to keep selling them.
Why did you change yours? What was the reason? Because you were selling them?
Just because I liked the way they looked back then. This had the pepperoni dot pixelated pickguard. The pickguards on Martins in 1998 weren't this nice looking, so it was an upgrade.
There it is. I do like it. It's cool. It's cool. Adds that vintage look. Anthony Phillips says, have Martin make a digital scan of Maury's worn top and back and sides, and then make an HPL OM28V using the images of Maury's guitar. Yeah, that's what they do. That's why some of those guitars look really cool, because they're just images of them, right?
Tony's one of the guys that thinks I should just make it an LSV by taking the entire rest of the part that's there and make it that much bigger. Every time I see him at a jam, he says I should just
enlarge it.
I should go all the way up. So.
Yeah.
What do you guys think in the chat? Is Tony right? Should I make it LSV?
And if you do that, that gives you less bass, right?
A little bit less bass, yes.
Less bass. Yeah, I always thought it would give you more, but it gives you less. Philip Watson, look out, Maury. I think my next guitar will be a D28 from you. I need you to make me a deal, LOL. I'm staying out of that one.
Oh, let's make a deal.
Now it's like we're doing one of those infomercials. Call me.
Right?
Let's make a deal today. And then your tooth like sparkles like that. Yes, they like the pickup. Yeah, pickup sounded very good. Better than some pickups I've heard.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing about that is... pickups do need to be auditioned for me, like at a gig or in the room. A bit like my video I did yesterday on tube amps. I installed the Bags Anthem mic only, no undersaddle tracks. Oh, you mean the lyric, right? It's just the microphone. In my CSD 1812, and trimmed a feedback bus to perfectly fit the sound hole while still allowing access to the sound hole control. Yeah, because I haven't got one here. Because they're rubber, you can just cut out as well. So if you've got an Anthem and you've got to get in there to change the volume, you can just cut out around it. It's rubber. Just use scissors or a knife, cut it out. You might get a little bit more bleed through there, but then you can access the controls.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I'm going to make a video about that, because it's just one of those things where I didn't like them, and now I see how great they are, and I want to put that into a video so people try it.
Uh-huh.
Oh, hang on. I think I just played that by mistake.
Uh-huh.
Huh.
I can hear that anytime I want.
Do not change the sound hole, says BMO. Yes, LSV or OM28V, but naturally. No need to rush. Don't make it LSV, said Kooky. Right, so far, we've decided it's not a carbon copy, unfortunately for some, and fortunately for some. And it sounds great. So I think it's time to play ding 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 Martin versus Martin, Aaron Short version. If I get one more thing here from Olds, if I get a voice print through Sweetwater, how do I order to attach your name? You mentioned it in an old video. So all of my videos today, the live stream right now doesn't because I'm live, but if you go to like yesterday's video and scroll down, it says Sweetwater under affiliate links. Click that and then search for it and order it, and I'll get a commission at no extra cost to you, and that would help me support the channel. So I appreciate that, Olds, really appreciate that. I have that for Toman, Sweetwater, and Amazon. So thank you very much. Right, let's do this. So I'm going to leave the comments for a bit here. We're going to do a comparison. Grab your headphones, and I have a new graphic here. So let me just get this ready. Go to Maury, and I've got this now. Look, Maury, because I think this is very, very important.
Ooh.
Now, if Maury was doing this, he'd drag it over so he's wearing them. I knew he would do that.
Am I that predictable?
I really, really feel strongly about when you listen to guitars or any gear on YouTube, play it back in its highest quality on YouTube and use good headphones. I think it sounds so obvious, but it just really hit me yesterday listening back to my stream. So there we go.
Come on, put them on me. You can move that.
Okay, I will. But first of all, let's hide you up because we're going to do the hidden test. Oh,
Okay.
Unlock. This will be interesting. They're just all in fun. Okay, let me get them back. Oh, no, I can't now because you've got a circle. But I'm going to bring it back here. I'm leaving it there. Right, so Maury is going to play. We'll just do a shortened version. Can you just play one? So mix them up. Yep, mix up the guitars, put them back down, pick one up. Play us some fingerstyle and some strumming. And then put that down and play the other guitar. And we'll all vote in the chat which is our favorite sounding guitar.
Okay, guitar number 1. Guitar number 2. Guitar number 1. Guitar number 2.
Okay, we're saying that there's reverb on, but the reverb's on the same on both guitars, right?
That's true, yes.
Okay, good. So I think they sound really close. I think the second one might sound a little bit bigger to me, but they both. You have to listen really carefully. Like that's yeah.
Well, I have them both. They're both on the stand now.
Okay, let's go back to you. What do you think? Tell us in the chat. Anthony thinks 17 watching but only 9 likes. WTF? So go like our video.
Watch the fridge.
Yeah, if you can, like, it all helps. Ways you can help, if you're watching the stream for me or Maury, if there's a like button, if you can click that. Even more, if you can share the link with your friends that like guitars, that help us even more.
Big help.
Use my links in my